Good evening, Minister Paul, Northern California, 1741 Pacific Standard Time on December 20th, 2012. First and foremost, the world will not end on 12/21/2012. There'll be a lot of crazy people out there doing crazy things and probably a lot of violence, and I suggest you stay home, but it's not going to end. Just want to say that first and foremost. I want to do a quick follow-up on this. Yesterday, it was reported that the Marine had approved this man to stand in front of this school, and here he is standing here in what's called a semi-parade rest position. There's another position where he's at full parade rest. These are, this is the reason why they do this for the non-military people is to keep your hands clear and ready at all times. Being a Marine is a very honorable thing. It's full of a lot of integrity and truth. But what we have here is someone who lied. It may not be the popular thing to say, but the truth isn't always popular, and what this channel is stand on is the truth. Now take notice that this story is an update. Does everybody say see that their timeline on Fox runs on updates? It says there's two updates for this story. Well, this is the final update. The Marine standing guard outside Houston School appears to have only served for less than a year and was a private first class. He was PFC, and then he was discharged. So basically, he graduated boot camp. He told stories of going on tours overseas, combat, and all that. And I'm not trying to play down what he accomplished. 13 weeks. I served 13 weeks a Marine, and he apparently graduated. Is no easy task. But the bigger picture is misinformation coming out from the media, and is not. The gun controls coming out left and right. Senator Boxer, Democrat, California, where I live, has now said that she wants to bypass what's called posse comitatus, where the military cannot replace the local jobs that law enforcement and police would do without declaring martial law. When I saw this, that's the first thing that triggered in my brain was martial law. We got military standing where they ought not. What appeared to be right isn't right. Well, I was correct, and let's read on. Craig Pusley, and again, this could be anybody. I don't know him. I don't met him. I'm worried about the kids behind the gate. You understand there? I did this type of security. The fees I paid to own a small business in the private security industry to do armed work was over $1,000 every 2 years just to have the permits. That doesn't count $1 million of insurance, which is thousands of dollars a year, or workers' comp, which is basically running small businesses out of California, or taxes. I'm just talking about there's 4 permits you have to have through the state of California. One of them is $700 just to be a business, a firearm permit, a gun card permit, and what's involved is background check on who is guarding the kids. Apparently, and I'm saying allegedly because we don't have all the facts, there was no background done here, because if there was a background done, then the media is lying. So here he stands in full uniform. Now I'm going to show you a couple of things about that. He said that he was a staff sergeant, and he had told the other media outlets he did tours overseas. None of that is being reported as true in less than 24 hours later. Fox 40's been checking with the military after receiving a call questioning his service, and according to the U.S. Marine Corps, Pusley served from 07 to 08 and reported to the training center in San Diego. There's only one boot camp recruit center in Southern California, so we all know where it is. And according to their records, this is his only command or duty station listed, and in his entire file, the only place he's ever, and the military is very big on tracking your locations and what's called duty stations. this is boot camp, and everybody that graduates is a private first class. The U.S. Marine Corps records indicate he was discharged and is not even on the reserve at this time. So look, I'm going to tell you, look, if he's not on reserve, then he's not active duty as was reported. So someone didn't do a background on the person they let stand in front of the school watching the kids. You understand me? Forget about the uniform. He's not even supposed to be wearing that. A school, which is, I don't know if you know that, when the school was my client, the school district, not this school district, another school district north of here, the checks, it's state. A lot of times the property that the school is on and is built on, it may be county, but the school system, our education system is state, which is funded by the feds. This is a very serious thing for no background to be done. And I see it done time and time again where people have literally, in Sacramento, California, females have been raped and killed by people the school brought in to do work. One of them was a gang member. He raped and killed a 16 or 17-year-old in woodshop after hours. No background check done. Have we not learned anything? And here's the thing is that they say the reason why he's there is because of Sandy Hook. Does everybody see that? So let me just show you a couple quick things and I'll be out of your hair. Here's where he is. This is if he's still what's called reserve. There's inactive reserve and then there's reserve. If he was discharged, I wouldn't think he's any of those. But we don't have all the facts. He was claiming that he was way up here as an E6. Here's the ranks. Here's where he is right now, which is if you get discharged, usually, and I'm not saying this is his case, if you get busted down, it's called, back to E1, it's usually for disciplinary measures. You leave either that or he was just discharged right after boot camp. I don't know the reason why, because we're not being told the truth. He's claiming when he just stood in front of their school that he was way over here. Do you see that? And that he'd been overseas and stuff like that. And he's wearing the uniform. And if you want to know about what the wearing of the uniform is, just go check the USC. It's called the United States Code on the wearing of a uniform. I believe you're going to find out that you can wear it to and from and for dress things at certain levels. In his situation, I don't believe, and this is from military.com, I don't believe that it's approved. So it'll be interesting to see if they allow him to stay there in a Marine uniform. When they list him as discharged, they don't say if he was honorably discharged or dishonorably discharged, or whether they ran a background check before they let him stood there. I've seen people discharged out of boot camp. I'm just telling you the truth. I've seen people discharged out of boot camp for medical reasons and mental reasons and literally went off and killed people and raped people and molested people. And that's why the school system, which again is federally funded state system, should do at a minimum a federal background check through Department of Justice, just as a minimum. This is why you use private security. They have fees. They have $1 million in insurance if an altercation should occur. They have training in escalation and de-escalation of force for civilians. These guys are trained for war. Is anybody getting this? These guys are trained for war. We're not, our schools aren't at war. The private sector route would be the way to go here. I know many people who would volunteer to help these kids in their spare time who have training working in civilian locations as civilians and not soldiers. And what I'm concerned of is a police state. And so when and this is all because of Sandy Hook, which is just at the top of every news outlet you go to. Take our guns away, take our guns away, take our guns away. Everybody just noticed that 3-7. So I'm going to upload this, and it probably make me unpopular, but you know what? The truth is the truth, whether it's popular or not. What I want to get to is the truth. Go watch this video. Sandy Hook medical examiner Wayne Carver has weird behaviors. Go watch his interview. Go watch this interview about Adam Lanza with no record of even existing beyond 2009. And then go read this article about this Marine claiming to be here, actually being here on the news organization. And then ask yourself, did they do a background or not before they let someone stand in front of their school in a military uniform? Here's how the media works. On the update, they're listing him as a private first class, and yet in the photo, they're still listing him as sergeant. Have we not learned anything? When this happened, 2 crime scenes, 1 crime scene, 3 shooters, 2 shooters, 1 shooters, the brother, no, the other brother. Have we not learned anything since 9/11? In the media, obviously not. In our school systems, obviously not. So there you have it. Not something I want to do, but just feel compelled to put out the truth. And you know what? The day that they say it's illegal to discuss the truth on the internet is the day I unplug my computer. No offense to anybody intended at all, other than just getting to the truth of who is truly protecting our kids, and are we in a police state or not.